Welcome back to the LBF series, Learning Bass Fishing. This will be part 4. When you start buying bait, it can be a little bit of sticker shock. It's not super expensive, but if you let it, it can be expensive. It can definitely be a bit of sticker shock once you start to shop for bait because of the amount of bait you realize you actually might need. But what I would encourage you not to do is cheap out, meaning go for the cheapest bait you see. Because a lot of times with bass fishing, what you learn is you get what you pay for a lot of times. There are some baits where you can go cheap and it's like you paid $20 for a $5 bait, you know what I'm saying? But I would probably say about 90% of bait on the market, you get what you pay for. So, story time, so I can give you an example of that. My first bass I ever caught was on the chatterbait, green pumpkin, right? That joint cost me like $5, $6, something like that. Cool. Which at the time, I only bought one because I'm like, damn, $5 for one bait? I don't know about that, but I'm gonna do it. It ain't that bad. Cool. Catch a bass on that. Now I got confidence with the chatterbait. $5 chatterbait that I bought. Cool, I'm happy with that. I go fishing with my boy Chaz one time. So I'm fishing with my chatterbait, black and blue, and same price, $5. I got 2 of them. I was being bougie. Chaz out there, and he fishing with a black and blue, but it's a jackhammer. Jackhammer is the same brand and everything, but it costs $15 and not $5. So it costs 3 times the bait that I'm using. Now, I know about jackhammer, and I had a couple jackhammers, but I wasn't about to fish with no expensive jackhammer in no pond where I could get hung up a lot. So that's that. We fishing. I ain't catching jack diddly poo on this chatterbait, right? Every time I look up, Chad's like this. All I hear is, got another one. I'm like, I'm happy for him because we catching bass. Well, he catching bass. At least somebody catching something. But after a while, I'm like, damn, that boy on 4-0 on me, and we throwing the same bait. But we was not throwing the same bait. He was throwing a $15 jackhammer, and I was throwing a $5 chatterbait. Needless to say, after that day, I never threw a regular chatterbait ever again, only jackhammers. You'll figure out a way to support any habits you got. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And there are worse habits to have, but sometimes you may need to spend a little money to get what you really need to get. You know what I mean? Now you can be efficient with it and kind of map it out on how you want to do it and be patient with accumulating things. But chances are when you first start out fishing, you're just gonna buy a bunch of random baits that you think's supposed to work, that you heard good things about, maybe you don't know nothing about, but you thought it looked good to use, so you bought it in the store, and it's gonna end up sitting in your tackle box forever and you're never gonna use it. That's part of fishing, man. It's all the learning curve. But eventually, you're gonna learn that there are actually certain brands and certain baits that you actually have found that work, and you're gonna start to accumulate more of those. So you can kind of narrow down your search and kind of budget for more efficiency over time. But again, like everything in fishing, patience. Give yourself time to understand how to be efficient with your purchases. It's not gonna come immediately. I don't care how much videos you listen to me or anybody else talk. It's gonna help you out when you get there and you start picking out baits, don't get me wrong. But again, everyone goes on their own journey with things. So you kind of got to go on your own journey with it and know that it's okay to go on your own journey with it. But try to be smart about it. But don't just go for the cheapest bait. I usually say middle of the road or better is where you want to be. You don't really want to be cheap. You know what I mean? So try to stay middle ground. Then when you start to gain more experience and you know, oh, I'm going to try this, you start getting into specific techniques, then that's when you can kind of start to get a little more on the pricey side. But there are a lot of good quality baits you can get for $5, $6. And again, $5, $6 may seem like a lot to you when you first start bass fishing. So I got to get 4 packs of these baits because you're going to be like, I want to get this color, but shoot, what if I come again? What if I need something that match dark water color? I don't want to fish no black and blue and super clear water. So now I got to buy a green pumpkin. So now my $5 just turned into $10 real quick. And that's pretty much how the slippery slope goes. But it's worth it, but I'm just saying, allow yourself to get to a place where you feel comfortable not cheaping out. Because not cheaping out is worth it in the end. Now, on that subject, when you're buying a bait, I would suggest buying more than one bait. When I bought this jig, I bought 4 of them. Why? Because one is a jig, and I know I'm going to put this thing in places where it might get hung up and I might not get it back. So if that happens, you either want your whole fishing day to be ruined, because dang, now you don't have no more of the bait that you were just catching them on, or would you rather go to your bag and be like, it's cool, I got 3 more in there, I just tie another one on. You can fish more confidently and put your bait into them sticky situations, because a lot of times that's where the big bass be at. So you can either fish scared and not put them in there and not catch the big bass, or you can fish confidently knowing I don't care if I get hung up, I hope I don't. But if I do, it's cool, I just chop it off, tie another one on. But if I pitch in there, I might catch a 10-pounder. It's gonna be worth it, you know what I mean? So it's better to fish like that than be fishing scared to put your bait somewhere. Just something I learned that hopefully you ain't gotta learn, because I just told you ain't gotta do that. But you're gonna have to learn on your own. But anyway, my point is buy multiple baits. That's the point. Don't get just one. That way you can fish without worrying about getting hung up. I mean, again, the more you fish, the more that'll make sense. But I'm just, right now, just trust me on that. So if you're going to get a soft plastic worm, a pack of worms might cost you $5, $6. But the good thing about a pack of worms is they come with like 20 in a pack, 5 in the pack, 6 in the pack, 10 in the pack. Like the worm I got tied on right now, that bag of bait cost me $7 and some change, but I bought 1 pack and I haven't ran out. It's about 20 or 25 worms in there. Worth it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you only get 1 of whatever you're getting for the price of that same pack of worms, right? So a jig, this jig also cost me around $7, but guess what? It comes with 1 jig. And also, you can't just fish a jig by itself. So if you buy a jig, you gotta buy what? A trailer for the jig. Which, and we already discussed, they can run you about $5, $6. So again, now you at $12. Because you wanna buy a jig. I'm just saying. But the good thing about it is, if you buy the trailer one time, cool. You buy a trailer the second time, cool. Third time you go buy a jig, you don't need no more trailers because you already bought a pack. Chances are you probably still got some left. And that's how you kind of start to accumulate stuff. But on the front end, it's gonna tax you. I call it the get in the game tax. That's the main thing today. Don't cheap out and buy multiple baits. You do that, you be all right. If you don't do that, you might still be all right, but might be a little more painful. But yeah, man, just don't cheap out, bro. Like out here, I love fishing out here with a crankbait. A crankbait is going to get hung up. It's part of crankbait fishing. A jig, it's going to get hung up. It's part of jig fishing. A worm, it's going to get hung up. It's part of worm fishing. A chatterbait, you're going to lose a $15 jackhammer in the lake. And you're not gonna be able to get it back, and you're gonna have to eat that. The question is, how do you wanna feel when you realize that you gotta eat that you can't get that chatterbait back, jackhammer back, that you just spent $15, $16 on, and that's already expensive, so now you hot. How you wanna handle that? Do you wanna handle that like, dang, now I'm like, I might well not even fish no more? Or do you wanna be like, dang, that's trash, but you can just tie another one on and keep fishing? It's all about choices, man. What type of life you want to live? I like to live a stress-free life. That's just me. If you want to stress yourself out every day, you can do that. But you don't have to. This is how you don't do that. Spend $15 on the jackhammer every check, every paycheck. That's every 2 weeks. In a month, you had 2 jackhammers. Yes, it's just in case you get hung up, but sometimes you might set the hook and break off, like your knot break or something. You know what I mean? Or the fish breaks your knot. Whatever happens, all of those things play a factor here, to be honest with you. Getting hung up is one thing, but it's a few different ways you can lose your bait, including your knot not being that good. I've literally thrown my bait. I literally casted my bait and just watched it keep going. because the knot broke as I casted it. Stuff like that just be happening, bro. And I had just tied that knot. Now, I was new to tying knots, so it could have been a bad knot, but that also goes to my point. It might not be something that's necessarily your fault, just part of the learning curve. But again, what type of heartbreak do you want? Do you want the type of heartbreak where, damn, I threw my bait off and now I gotta go home? Or, damn, I threw my bait off, I just gotta retie another one out and keep fishing? Again, it's up to you what you wanna do, how you wanna do it. But I'm just giving you more reasons to not cheap out on bait, and I'm giving you more reasons how to manage not cheaping out on bait. Because if you spend money on bait, you definitely don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? Give yourself some cushions for if you do lose it. Save yourself some stress that day, especially with a crankbait. My suggestion would be for baits that like is a little bit expensive for you when you first starting out, but you kind of want to use them. Like I said, an example, the jackhammer, which might actually be the bait that you want to actually start getting. Just throw that out there. But whatever the bait is, let's just say it costs $15, 2 of them cost $30. Just budget $30 per paycheck. If you get paid twice a month, and in a month you got 4 jackhammers. I'm just saying, that can be aside from the other baits you purchase, but that just be your like expensive bait budget, however that may go. But I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what worked for me, and I have a fair amount of jackhammers. I don't never got to worry about losing one when I go fishing because I always have a spare. Put it that way. I don't care what color I'm using. Again, you don't have to do that, but that's what worked for me. So I'm gonna tell you that's one way you could do that. You feel me? Anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Get a little toast out here. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what type of video you might want to see me make, or you might want to see in general, or comment on how you felt about this video. I'm cool with that too, man. But either way it go, y'all be safe. Get out there in the water when you can. Until next time, I'm out. Yee.